There are stories carved into the bones of the universe, stories older than stars. Written not in words but in gravity, in mass, in the quiet violence of things that pull and things that fall. This is one of those stories. It begins without drama, without catastrophe, without fire or thunder. It begins with a tremble, a hesitation in the night sky, almost invisible, almost imagined. A star, one among billions, flickered in a way no star should. A faint bending of its light, a soft elongation, like a sigh stretched too thin. The kind of thing a person notices only if they have spent a lifetime staring into the darkness. Astronomers were the first to feel it, not see, not measure, but feel. A pressure they couldn't name, a wrongness beneath the data. Screens glitched, readings drifted, but nothing failed. Instead, everything leaned. Light leaned, gravity leaned, reality leaned. They whispered among themselves, avoiding the word none of them wanted to say. The word that reshapes every conversation into fear. Rogue. A rogue black hole, not orbiting anything, not bound by anything, wandering through the galaxy like a silent predator drifting through a school of sleeping fish. And Earth, small, delicate, unaware, was drifting into its path. But the public didn't know. Not yet. They only felt the discomfort animals feel before storms. The kind of unease the human brain is not built to interpret. People slept poorly. They dreamed of falling, of stretching, of sinking into walls that melted like shadows. Birds veered off their migrations. Dogs barked at empty corners of the sky. Children cried when the sun set, as if the dark itself frightened them in a way it never had before. But the universe does not wait for comfort. Within days, the sky warped openly. People noticed constellations drifting out of place, subtle at first, then unmistakably wrong. Orion's belt curved. Cassiopeia twisted into a shape no mythology had ever named. The moon stretched into an oval, as though an invisible hand pulled its edges. The distortion spread like a slow infection. Cameras failed to focus on the stars. Telescopes recorded impossible bends, light behaving like liquid, folding into spirals. A man in Norway filmed a time-lapse where the northern lights bent toward a single point in the sky, as if bowing. A woman in Argentina captured birds circling in confused loops beneath a trembling sun. And everywhere, shadows lengthened unnaturally, all pointing toward one place, one empty place where nothing should exist. Within scientific circles, panic simmered beneath every conversation. Gravitational wave detectors chimed in haunting synchrony, their readings rising like the breath of a sleeping beast. The black hole wasn't approaching quickly, it didn't need to. It was colossal, ancient, and indifferent. Its presence alone was enough to distort the fabric of existence for millions of miles. But when the official announcement finally came, it was already too late for reassurance. The governments of the world held coordinated press conferences, their voices trembling beneath rehearsed calm. They called it a gravitational anomaly, a cosmic event, a rare passing. But leaked documents painted a bleaker truth. Earth was entering the black hole's outer influence. Not close enough to be swallowed, but close enough to feel its hunger. And hunger, in cosmic terms, is not aggression, it is inevitability. The black hole's pull deepened. Tides rebelled against centuries of predictability. Water bulged toward the sky in silent domes before collapsing into monstrous, soundless tsunamis. Gravity thinned in some regions. People felt weightless, drifting as if the world had forgotten how to hold them. In others, gravity tightened, pushing bodies downward, crushing bones, collapsing bridges, cracking mountains. Animals screamed for reasons no human could understand. Compasses spun uselessly. Migrating birds collided mid-air. Fish hurled themselves onto shores as if fleeing the ocean itself. And then time began to loosen. Clocks drifted out of rhythm. Seconds stretched. A woman recorded her son laughing. But when she played it back, his laugh arrived 3 seconds before his smile. A man walking down a street watched cars appear to stutter, their motion shifting in uncomfortable fragments. In some parts of the world, dawn arrived minutes early. In others, it lagged like a tired pulse. Time was no longer a constant. It was a fabric being tugged, twisted, thinned by something that didn't know or care what time meant to the creatures trapped within it. When the black hole finally revealed itself, humanity fell silent. It did not appear like a monster or a mouth or a hole. It appeared as a lens, a ring of warped starlight suspended in the void. A halo of stolen light, bending in impossible symmetry, a perfect circle of cosmic violence wearing the mask of beauty. Even in daylight, the halo glowed faintly, an unblinking eye fixed above the world. Some knelt and prayed, some screamed, some stared in reverent horror, mesmerized by a thing so vast and merciless it defied all language. The halo grew brighter each night as Earth drifted nearer. Stars elongated like candles left in sun. The sky rippled like fabric underwater. The moon split into mirrored crescents, reflections bending around the lens. And with each passing hour, the gravitational tides intensified. Buildings swayed without wind, rivers curled backward, oceans trembled as though breathing. People clutched at walls, at furniture, at anything that felt real. But reality was dissolving. The black hole's whispers deepened into an audible hum, not a sound, but a feeling, vibrating in bones and teeth and the soft places of the body where fear lives. Then came the wave, a gravitational shock unlike anything recorded in human history. It hit the planet with silent violence. Mountains shook, oceans convulsed, skyscrapers buckled as their foundations turned briefly fluid. Entire continents trembled under the invisible hand of the void. And for the first time, humanity understood how fragile Earth truly was. The world didn't break, but it nearly did. After the wave, the laws of physics fractured. Rain fell upward, lightning froze mid-strike, suspended like branches of white fire. Clouds twisted into spirals that stretched toward the horizon. Birds hung in the air, wings outstretched, trapped between collapsing forces. Time itself became a fractured mirror. In some places, children watched leaves fall in slow motion. In others, people moved faster than their own shadows. Near the black hole's focal point, the sun flickered like a dying bulb, trapped in a gravitational stutter. And then, the world stopped. The universe inhaled. Gravity softened, loosening its grip. Dust floated. Cars drifted an inch above the ground. Waves lifted into frozen arcs. The world hovered on the edge of existence, caught between survival and annihilation. People floated in their homes, in fields, in collapsing cities. They felt weightless not in body, but in identity, untethered from the planet that had always held them. They felt the raw truth of their existence. They were temporary, ephemeral, fleeting patterns in a universe that neither noticed nor cared. For those few suspended minutes, Earth was a ghost ship drifting through a cosmic tide. And then, slowly, the universe exhaled. The black hole drifted on. Gravity returned with staggering force. Oceans crashed. Cars slammed to pavement. Dust collapsed. Trees groaned under their restored weight. People fell to the ground, gasping, sobbing, clinging to the earth as though afraid it might float away again. The halo dimmed. The lens shrank. Starlight straightened. The sky, once a trembling, living thing, stilled. But the planet was changed. Coastlines redrew themselves. Mountains rose and fell. Rivers carved new scars across continents. Forests drowned. Deserts fractured. Cities crumbled. And humanity, humbled beyond measure, stumbled into a quieter, stranger world. In the aftermath, scientists attempted to quantify what had happened. But the numbers refused to comfort. They showed how narrow the margin had been. How the smallest variation, 1 degree, 1%, one fraction of a gravitational vector, could have ended every life that had ever lived or dreamed or preyed on this fragile sphere. Survivors gathered beneath the stars at night, staring at constellations that finally returned to their familiar shapes. But they didn't look with wonder. They looked with fear, because they now knew the truth. The universe is not a cradle. It is a tide, and tides do not care what they carry away. They whispered a truth passed from one shaken soul to another. We survived because the universe let us. Not because we were strong. Not because we were worthy. Simply because the black hole was not hungry enough. And in that cosmic indifference lies the heaviest truth of all. We are small. We are fragile. We are temporary. But we endure in spite of it. Not because the universe shelters us, but because, for reasons beyond comprehension, it sometimes allows us to stay. And that is the closest thing to a miracle humanity will ever know.